Engineers who know Kubernetes often earn more money and are seen as critical hires because they understand how to build and run scalable. Are they coming down?
Yes. Is that okay?
I need 5 minutes.
Sorry?
I need 5 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bernie Uche, and once again, I'm in a tech state of mind. So, today I want to talk about Kubernetes, something that's been pivotal in my career. If you're a software engineer and you've been hearing about Kubernetes everywhere, don't be surprised, it's a really in-demand skill set. But if you're wondering whether or not you actually need to learn Kubernetes, I think this video is for you. I spent 4 years as a technical sales lead at IBM focused on Kubernetes and OpenShift on IBM Cloud. So I've seen firsthand how companies from startups to massive enterprises have used and are using Kubernetes to modernize, scale, and secure their applications. In this video, I'll break down for you whether or not learning Kubernetes makes sense, what kind of jobs and projects require it, and how you can get started with the best learning resources available. So let's talk about what Kubernetes is first. Kubernetes, also known as K8s, is an open source system for orchestrating containers. Think of it like the brain of your application infrastructure. It manages your services, how they get deployed, how they get scaled, updated, and kept alive across servers and infrastructure. Originally developed by Google, I think around 2014 or so, and donated to CNCF, so the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. Today it powers apps as companies like Spotify, Airbnb, Shopify, I believe Lyft, and even banks and telcos. In fact, I posted something on LinkedIn not too long ago which explains my first ever project at IBM, which was a Kubernetes-based project at a, I don't think I said in the post, but it was a regional bank in Canada. Let me put it that way. So, in a world where applications are built as microservices, and if you don't know what microservices are, we used to develop applications like monoliths, and in fact, we still do. The monoliths still serve an important purpose, and a monolith means one big blob, on one big package of code, effectively. But now, with a microservices architecture, you can break up the monolithic application into its subparts, and those subparts are independent yet coordinated with each other to create this one application that's made up of its subparts. So think of a square that you break into multiple smaller squares that serve the same function. That allows for scalability, better maintenance, although some people believe that it's actually gone overboard and now technical debt, which we might discuss in a future video. But that's an aside. Kubernetes itself has gone from niche to almost non-negotiable in the job market. And I say almost because you can get away with it, but we'll talk about that. If you search Kubernetes on LinkedIn, you'll find thousands of listings across roles like DevOps. Now we're talking about DevSecOps, engineering, back-end development, SREs, so site reliability engineering, platform engineering most definitely, and even full-stack roles are now asking for Kubernetes experience. But what you will also see there is a pairing with skills like Docker and Terraform, of course, knowledge of hands-on experience with the major cloud hyperscalers, AWS, GCP, Azure, understanding of CI/CD pipelines as well. Those skills married with Kubernetes all show up in the top paying job skill rankings year after year. But it's not just about the fact that it's a top paying job and it shows up and it's in demand all the time. All those things are true, absolutely. But learning Kubernetes teaches you how real world software runs at scale and how teams handle things like service discovery, rollout updates without any downtime, how you can auto scale services and manage infrastructure as code. Kubernetes really became the foundation for a lot of these things that we talk about that we didn't talk about before, Kubernetes has really opened the door to a lot of those things, which is why I think it's particularly important. So who should learn Kubernetes?
Soldier boy, tell.
Well, you. If you're a backend developer building APIs or microservices, if you're a full stack developer deploying your own applications, if you're a cloud or a DevOps engineer, or if you're an SRE focused on performance and reliability of your cloud environment, if you're in any of these and more, learning Kubernetes is absolutely worth it and probably even essential at this point. If you're doing mostly front-end work, or you're working in serverless only environments, you might not need to go too deep. But having a fundamental understanding of Kubernetes concepts will only help you work better with your team and understand your deployment environments. It's very unlikely that you're only working in a serverless environment. All right, so now that we know more about Kubernetes, the big question is, how do I get started? How can I start playing around with the thing, getting my hands dirty and getting a feel for this thing, right? So first and foremost, learn Docker, right? Docker is a container engine you'll use to build and run containers. Kubernetes runs containers. So if you don't understand containers and don't understand Docker, Kubernetes will feel like a mystery, okay? So once you've got the hang of Docker, the next thing you can try and do is run Kubernetes locally. Why locally? Because you want a safe playground where you can freely experiment, break things, and learn by doing without needing to pay a cloud subscription or worrying about any billing surprises or be encumbered by any hidden mysteries that you'd be unaware of, right? So some great local tools to do this are Minikube, which spins up a single node Kubernetes cluster on your laptop, which is great for beginners. Kind, which stands for Kubernetes in Docker, which is a lightweight and perfect for quick testing environment. Rancher Desktop, which is an easy GUI for local clusters with a built-in container engine as well, is a great resource for this. And with these tools, you can deploy a simple app, create a pod and expose it with a service, scale up or down your deployments. You can simulate pod failures and see how Kubernetes heals itself. And you can explore logs, configs, and secrets for troubleshooting, security, and all that observability operational context. Now, we talked about running these things locally, but which you can do, and is really helpful if you don't want to pay a cloud subscription. But if you're okay with the cloud subscription and paying, a minimal fee every month, you can deploy using cloud tools. Of course, Google has what's called GKE, the Google Kubernetes Engine. Azure has AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. Amazon has EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. And I used to represent IBM, so I'm going to shout out IKS, IBM Kubernetes Service as well, and the OpenShift on IBM Cloud solution as well. And if you want to take your learning even further and maybe become super proficient and show that proficiency with a certification, some of the best resources I've used are the CKAD Crash Course by Benjamin Mushko, which I used to get my CKAD back in the day. And this is a GitHub repo with practical CKAD prep tasks, practice tests, and activities that you can run that will boost your mastery and help you pass that exam. Code Cloud is a great interactive lab environment with beginner-friendly explanations. And if you're an Udemy person, then Kubernetes for Absolute Beginners by Mannambeth, I think is how you pronounce his name, is a great course that I've browsed through and I recommend to people. And of course, go through the official Kubernetes docs online, which I will link in the description below. In fact, all of these tools, all of these resources I just talked about will be linked in the description below. My advice is pick one, start small, just keep tinkering, just keep learning, don't be in a hurry. You will learn by doing and getting your hands dirty as opposed to just, reading and trying to ingest information. You really have to do it, and you really have to try and fail a couple of times to get the hang of this. So, should you learn Kubernetes as an engineer? Yes, I think we can check that box. So we have agreed now at the end of this video, absolutely yes. If you want to build and run scalable, resilient, and cloud-native applications, then yes, 100%. If you want to build applications that are scalable, resilient, and cloud-native, then yes. This is one of the most valuable skills that you can pick up today. I hope that this content helped you the way that learning Kubernetes helped me in my career. If it did, please give me a like. Hit the subscribe button as well for more content like this, and leave me a comment talking about your Kubernetes experience, how you picked it up from scratch, how it's helping you in your career today. I would love to hear about that. And we're going to do some more deep dives into concepts like DevSecOps and platform engineering and more in subsequent videos, so look out for those. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Peace.
Never been a boy like him. Never been a flow this good.